This is going to be a free-to-play beginner guide. People have been have been asking me for, to make a free-to-play beginner guide. Here it is. I'm literally that's literally gonna be the title of this video, and it's not clickbait. This is my recommendation. So I really wanted to showcase this battle, right? It's a Max Treant, Max Scrapper, Crystalmancer, Knight Statue, Gunslinger, with my 53-52 crit, 5 minutes and 49 seconds. It's like I'm abusing the Dark Domain faction bonus that's happening right now. I really wanted to showcase this battle. And if you want to see the stats on this, I posted it in my community post. Go check it out. But I'd rather not, because this is not a, pay to win. This is not a pay to win video. We're not doing Max Treant here. 5 minute Max Treant battles. No. I, for once, or not for once, maybe for thrice, I think I've only done this like 3 times on my channel, I'm gonna feature somebody else. This is somebody in my clan, and they, did this. Spoiler alert, he loses. 5 minutes and 21 seconds, Banshee. Max Banshee, level 10 Trapper, no talents, level 14 Enchant Sword, Max Scrapper, Max Earth Elemental, with a Mermaid. Not a Max Mermaid, not even a Max Mermaid, a level 35 Mermaid. This is level 4 Bubble Wand, epic equipment with pocket exhaustion, a sword with reverse, and a magic amulet with morally gray. No counterspell. Don't even need it. Who cares? Don't even need it. 26-30 crit. I don't understand. I don't claim to understand everything in this game. I've never claimed to understand everything in this game. For example, I don't understand Spirit Master. I don't understand why Spirit Master does as much damage as it does. I've never understood that. It doesn't gain stacks at all. It's just base damage and a percentage boost. I will never understand why Spirit Master does billions of damage. I will never understand it. I feel the same way about this deck. I understand that that Banshee gets the stacks. It gets 10 stacks, and that's it. It has the decay, but you still have to deal 80% to bosses for it to even work. And then I understand that Earth Elemental does stuff even without talents. I understand that it gives stack bonus to things, and that's why Banshee does more. The fact that a 26-30% crit can go more than 5 minutes into death waves without a Max Trapper, without a Max Enchant Sword, no counterspell, and an epic hero that is now very free-to-play friendly. Invest literally every ounce of your time as a free-to-play person into Banshee. Banshee has never been touched. It has never been, kind of touched. When developers think about nerfing, buffing cards, I don't think Banshee is even in that conversation. They're looking at, the top decks, which are, Genie, Bard, Treant, your Spirit Masters, your Blade Dancers. They look at, the top, but something like this can just sneak under the radar and just, and at 26-30% crit, do 5 minutes of damage, or 5 minutes of death waves. It's insane to me. I don't have a Max Banshee. Obviously, you need a Max Banshee for this to even work, because of the Banshee's Wail. That's all obvious. You need the Earth Elemental. But the fact that you don't even need anything else, you don't even need a Gunslinger. I mean, I guess you can't, there is a, there is a pay-to-win version of this deck, with, a Zeus and a maxed out Gunslinger. But, the fact that this can do this amount of damage, I know that it's getting, stacks from the Enchant Sword, but you're basically running this on like 4 Banshees. I think for the majority of the game, the strategy is to run 3, so that when you summon in the 4th one, it doesn't shut them all down. And so like you can still keep summoning in. Because if you had 4 and then you summoned in a new one to give stacks to the other ones, all of yours would shut down. So if you start with 3, and when you summon in that 4th one, the other ones are still active. And that is the strategy. But beyond that, just get Earth Elementals, get a Awaken Enchant Sword, and win the game. Like, if you were getting consistent 521 at 2630 crit, like, you're not only beating everybody in your bracket, you're beating people like me with 5,000 crit. Like, if this is your consistency, and that's what I always see from Banshee decks. I am always afraid of going up against Banshee decks. I don't even care what their crit is. I am always afraid of going like there are decks that I can feasibly beat, like a Monk deck, a Bruiser deck. Like if it's around my same crit, I'm like, I'll probably beat this. I go up against like Banshee decks with like 3,000 crit, and I'm like, I'm probably gonna lose, and I have like 2,000 crit on that person. The amount of free to play that this deck is crazy. The fact that you can be at 20, I'll never get over it. The fact that you can be at 20, like sub 3,000 crit, and put up these kinds of numbers in Death Waves is maddening. I don't understand. Like, this person was probably never gonna beat, you know, just a strictly better version of the deck, with like a better hero and better whatnot. I mean, like, I don't even know if Zeus is the correct hero, as opposed to like a Fortuna. Or a Necromancer even. Like, you could probably even run like a Necromancer, and that might even be better. Because I think that you're not building up so many things, you're not trying to level up so many things. And so I feel like you could even run this deck with probably a Fortuna, and that's just better if you had like every legendary hero maxed out. But this is just crazy. Actually, is Banshee Dark Domain? If Banshee is Dark Domain, I guess it is getting the bonus of always being upgraded, which makes Zeus even like worse to have in your deck, because then you're just getting too many upgrades at that point. I know that it does other things, but I feel like Fortune is probably better in terms of like what legendary hero you would put in this deck. But the fact that you can run this deck with a regular epic hero, that you can now free to play farm just in expeditions, and you can get a reasonable amount of shards over the course of just time. You don't need a legendary hero to make this deck better. The fact that you don't even need a max Trapper to do 5 minutes. The fact that you don't even need a max Enchant Sword to do 5 minutes. Like, when you look at 5-minute numbers for decks, you would think that they're all legendary heroes. They all have max talents. They're all maxed out. Trapper and Earth Elemental don't even have talents. And the fact that you can run a deck like this that has two units that don't even have talents because they haven't even been introduced into this game, and 2 units that are not even maxed out. I don't understand. I honestly, I understand the concept of this deck. I don't understand like why it does this amount. I will never understand why it does this amount of damage. It's beyond me. At this point, it's now beyond me. I feel like every single time I come across a new ridiculous like Banshee game, it's just like less and less and less crit. Like, I'm gonna come across a maxed out Banshee deck with 1,000 crit doing 7 minutes in Death Waves. Like that, I'm at that point. I'm like, is that where we're going now? Just like the fact, like, you still need a max Banshee, yes, but I mean, you needed a max something, a max DPS something, in order to, you know, begin your free-to-play journey. Like, and you could max out a Boreas, or you could max out a Banshee and do 6 minutes in Death Waves, 5 minutes in Death Waves. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand how free to play this deck is and how well it does. That's pretty much it. Just my disbelief. I don't have anything to say about this gameplay because I don't play I don't play the card, obviously. I don't know how many Earth Elementals you're supposed to run. I guess you're going to find out here how many Earth Elementals you're specifically supposed to run. I love, just as a side note, I love that, like, Dark Inquisitor, when that was a thing, and everybody was running, like, 8 Trappers on the field, because, you know, you had the space, because you just had the Dark Inquisitor and the Knight Statue, and then you were done. I love that people were just running, like, 9 Trappers on the field, and I always thought to myself, I was like, that seems like an excessive amount of Trappers. Like, I feel like, I understand why, but, like, why? Like, why are you doing this? And nowadays, people are running 1 Trapper. People are running, at best, 2 Trappers on the field. But even if you don't have the space for the other Trapper, you're like, it's fine, I can just run 1. You have, like, Genie decks running 1 Trapper. And I think that that's so funny to the people to the Dark Inquisitor players of past, that were running, like, 9 Trappers. But yeah, I got nothing. This game is obviously going to go for a while, and if you want the strategy, clearly this is it. This is the strategy. This is the strategy. As a free-to-play player, invest everything you have, invest all of your time into this deck. Every time you have a choice to get a random legendary hero, put Banshee. Get Banshee. Every time you're gonna do Laboratory of Experiments, just put all the, put a Trapper, a Banshee, an Enchant Sword, just put that into your Laboratory of Experiments. Like, this, I'll never understand this deck. I'll never understand why this deck does as well as it does. And it just feels like every time I see it, it's something even more ridiculous than whatever last time I saw it, whatever it did. And this is the height of, like, ridiculousness that I've seen. And that's why it's going on my channel for, like, permanently. And it's just going to be a video titled, the beginner, what's it called? Whatever I said in the beginning. That's going to be the title of this video. The free-to-play beginner guide. Everybody's like, make a beginner guide for free-to-play people. This is it. Just build this deck, and you'll be fine. I'll catch you guys next video.